What is up, fellow troubadours? Today we're gonna be a little more off the cuff. I'm going unscripted. Hence the glasses, and hence the I don't know, sitting in the living room. What I want to talk about today is let's get rid of this thing. 3 pet peeves of mine, of guitar players and of guitar teachers, especially guitar teachers I see online. And these are just things that I think are just kind of a turn off for me, or something that you should be aware of when you see a guitar player doing it. And if you do it, it might be a habit you might want to break. Let me get right to the point. Pet peeve number 1. Guitarists who, between chord changes, release their hands and play all the open strings. Like, what is that? And a lot of online guitar teachers do that. I feel so strongly about it that I have to sit on the couch when I talk about this. Okay, we're going from a C chord to a D chord to a G chord, back to a C chord. What you'll see a lot of online teachers do, and I don't get this, because if you're a guitar player, this should be something that you strive not to do. Now, if you notice, I'm pulling up all of my hands, and on the upstroke, I'm playing open strings. That's a no-no. There's no reason to do that. Once in a while, you can get away with pulling out some open strings, or some of them may sneak in. But, okay, think about us if we were in the key of G, let's just say G, C, A minor, D7th, G. There's no reason to have It's unnecessary, and quite frankly, depending on what key you're in, these chords, these open strings may actually be not in the tune, not in the same key of the song that you're playing in, okay? So what can we do about this? Because I understand, you know, we're keeping an up and down motion, and sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's darn near impossible not to make any sound on the open strings. And if the sound sneaks in, it's okay, but people rely on that open string strum as part of their, like, the time that they use to change chords. And I see teachers doing it, and it just baffles my mind that that's a habit that they have, and that they're showing it, whether intentionally or unintentionally, to students. All right, I have them written down on the phone here. Pet peeve number 2. You would think if there's such big pet peeves, I would have them committed to memory. But I do. I just want to make sure that I put it. Pet peeve number 2. Pointless warm-up exercises. Now, this might be controversial for a lot of, I know there's a lot of respected teachers that teach you, let's just say for argument's sake, we're practicing up and down, and we're practicing getting our left hand moving. They'll teach this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we move it up. Okay, then we do 1, 4, 2, 3. I don't know. To me, when you take a new student, somebody who, you know, arguably has no musical kind of ear yet, and you teach them this arbitrary, ambiguous sounding exercise, you're teaching them that mechanics are more important than music and sound, when you could just as easily teach them, let's just say, something that's based on a major scale. right? You can still practice up and down motion, and it's no more difficult than, in fact, it might be a little bit more difficult, but just do it slower. You're training your ear, and even that I wouldn't do. Like, who cares how fast you can move it up and down? I'm still practicing up and down, but I'm training into my ear the major scale, one of the foundations of music. So many times I'll run into a student that'll just do this finger pattern thing, and they do it fast and they execute it well, but they can't kind of like hear musically over a C major chord. What are you really warming up? So somebody might say to me, well, but you're freeing up the hands, like, and the brain, so like I'm doing this kind of weird, awkward pattern. Okay, so I say, well, let's just take maybe a major scale pattern. And there's plenty of patterns you can do. See, I screwed up. But it sounds like something you might hear in the real musical world. So not only are you getting the physical practice, but you're getting the mental, if you want to call it, practice of putting the muscle and the musical ear together. Okay? We don't want to teach our brain to hear things that aren't musical. All right, I'm moving seats again. On another point on that matter is, okay, that doesn't just go to picking patterns. How about chord-based warm-ups? You'll have teachers that, they practice this chord shape and then you just move it. Okay, well, what good is that without context, right? Let's say we're in C major. I'd rather teach somebody, even if they don't understand what it is they're playing in terms of from a musical standpoint. Well, I don't understand why I'm playing this particular pattern when I could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It makes a lot more sense. Why do I have to memorize this pattern? I don't even understand what this major scale is. It doesn't matter at that point. What matters is that you're hearing it. Okay? It goes way deeper than that, in my opinion. Now, again, there are teachers that are bona fide online teachers that swear by this pattern type thing. Hey, just from my opinion, okay? Back to chords. Let's say we were going to do some, instead of doing like a chord shape and moving it all up and down, why don't we say we're going to do a 1, 5, 6, 4 in each key. So C major. Now we're combining switching chords using our proper chord technique, learning the fingerings of the chords, and hearing a common chord progression. 1, C, 5, G, 6, A minor, 4, F, 1, C, 5, 7, G7, back to 1. Now we move it up a half step. Oh boy, now we're in D flat. Uh-oh. D flat, 1, A flat, 5, B flat, 6, G flat, 4, D flat, 1, A flat, 7, 5, 7, back to 1, D flat. Move it up a half step. Now we're in D, 1, A, 5, B minor, 6, G, 4, A, 1, A, 7, D, back to 1. Now granted, this is not a beginner exercise per se, because there's a lot of chord shapes, but even if we're doing it with a beginner, we can just do do it in 3 different keys and have them warm up with that, just in the key of C, and then maybe in the key of D, and then in the key of G, and then maybe in the key of F, right? F, 1, C, 5, D minor, 6, E flat major, 4, F, 1, C7, F. Maybe we do that warm up and then we move to different shapes. So now instead of doing F in this position, we use the movable C-shaped position and we're in the same key. That's another cool warm up, right? F, 1, C, 5, D minor, 6, E flat major, 4, F, 1, C 7th, right? 5, back to F, or we can do the C7 this way, using the movable G shape. Again, point of this lesson is not to show you the theory behind this, but to show you that warm-ups, in my opinion, should function in a musical context. Why practice something that's difficult and not musical when you can practice something that's difficult and musical? You're getting more synergy out of your efforts. All right, I have to sit down a little bit. I'm getting, that stool's too much for me. Okay, the last thing. And I've seen, how many students have come to me confused out of their minds because they're worried about freaking modes. Dude, the emphasis that guitar, it's like they want to show off that they know what the modes are. They love the names, I think. This is the Locrian, this is the you know, Lydian. Yeah, okay, cool. There is a place, time and a place for it, but you're I've had students come here where they're talking about modes. They can't even sing me a major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and I just sang it out of tune, but it doesn't matter. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They don't understand the whole steps and half steps of what makes a major scale work, right? Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. They don't understand the critical understanding between those half steps, those leading tones, right? What makes a dominant chord lead? What makes a 5 chord, a 5-7 chord, lead back to a 1 chord? Why? You don't know that, but you're worried about the Locrian mode? Based on the -7 flat 5, or the half diminished? Do you even know that that's really just a dominant chord building off of the 3rd of the dominant? So basically, so if I'm playing B Locrian, I'm playing a G9. A G with an added 9 chord. That's all it is. But you're so worried about Locrian, but you don't even hear what a major scale is. Or you don't really fully, you may know how to harmonize the major scale, right? Building chords off of each degree of the major scale, that's harmonizing the major scale. Maybe perhaps a different lesson, obviously, and we'll get into that. We can get into that in future videos. But if you don't hear that and really truly understand the harmonies of the chords that are part of the major scale, the diatonic scale, what is the point of talking about a Dorian mode? Just think of it all as a major scale. And there's even a funny clip of Joe Pass. If I could find it, I will B-roll it in this video, where he says to a group of students, there's 2 funny things in that. One of them says, well, what do you like to play when you're in a 2-5-1 situation? And Joe Pass says, a 2-5-1 situation, you know, like D minor 7th, G7th, C. Joe Pass is like, well, I'm not thinking D Dorian, you know, G Mixolydian to C. He's like, I'm just thinking 5 chord to 1 chord. I'm thinking about the tones of the dominant chord, the 5 chord, and what other tones are there around that chord. Right? I don't have to play every note that's diatonically in the key, but I'm not thinking about the mode per se. I'm thinking about the chord tones, the key, and the notes that are around it and how they resolve. Okay, I'm getting off again as usual, but my point is to drive home that don't fixate on things like modes without first having an understanding of a full understanding of the major scale, the keys, how a major scale is constructed, and all of the chords within the major scale. Okay? All of the diatonic chords that make up the key. So those are my 3 pet peeves of guitar teacher, guitar practice, just guitar thinking that I think causes more harm than good to us good-hearted, good-natured, good-intentioned, more important than all, guitar players. We just want to understand. We just want to get good, right? We just want to play with some freedom, okay? I'm Frank Persico. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe if you do, and feel free to leave your comments, which I'm sure you will anyway. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.